Sponsored by Zentavos. Keep more of your money.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ask Sloan. I'm Ben,
I'm Sloan.
and today we are going to be talking about Zentavos, a new upcoming app that's going to change lives all across America.
Keep more of your money.
Keep more of your money. So, give us a brief background on Zentavos. This is, by the way, the CEO of Zentavos sitting right next to me, right here.
Well, thank you.
So, let's start with the background. Where did you come up with the initial idea of Zentavos?
So it started like in the pandemic.
Okay.
Nothing was going on. I mean,
Yeah.
streets were empty,
Yeah. Ghost towns.
ghost towns. The market's going crazy. People are spending millions of dollars on digital artwork. Fintech started like really exploding. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal,
Mm.
um, other types of money apps.
Okay.
DeFi, okay? If you don't know what DeFi is, it's decentralized finance. It is what crypto is supposed to become. So, trillion investment in these emerging technologies, right? AI, the advent of AI, it wasn't quite out yet, but I mean, there's all the rumblings. Elon Musk is working on it with Sam Altman and, all this stuff. So I'm just doing what I do, just researching and whatnot. And I hadn't really had a personal project since my online television project. Um, and the Apple story I told you about when we first met, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like really trying to figure out what my next project was. And one thing that I had struggled with in business is um really being able to develop a team that could make it happen and get over that initial ceiling because it's really hard,
Yeah.
right? And the thing is that like you you become dependent on the results of others. And so at that point I'd been involved in a lot of different projects, a lot of different teams. I love everybody involved, and they just didn't, work out. And my next thing, I couldn't let it be like something I couldn't do, right?
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to do all of it and not need help, right? Like
Yeah.
not that I don't want help, but that I don't need help. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so all these banks are being made. Like I said, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, like PayPal has been around a long time, but like all these banks, Chime, and then all these like financing companies, or merchant companies like Stripe, and like all this was like emerging. They weren't all brand new, but they were all like really emerging. It was like okay, now this is the direction that we're going. And then um and then I researched a company called Pilot. Does a great job kind of on the forefront of automated accounting, right? And then a whole bunch of companies came out after that. And then like Gusto came out with payroll. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm thinking about all this and I'm like, look, who's doing the accounting and the taxes? Like, if you think about the journey of money, right? It's transactions, which is when you actually go and you purchase something or sell something. Then there's the accounting part of it, bookkeeping, logging all the transactions, accounting, reconciling the accounts, like doing all that stuff. Then the next step is like taxes. So processing financial statements, turning them into reports. Then the last stage is like audits. And there's different types of audits, and that's like reviewing the accounting system and the financial statements and making sure that they're correct.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole journey. And I've been using technology since I was like 10 years old, like pre 286, dot matrix printers, like the first accounting ledgers ever made on, um, before Windows, when it was just DOS, I'm talking about 7-inch floppies. Like these things were like,
Floppy disks.
no, not the 3.5-inch hard floppies.
Oh, those are the only ones.
Those are like cassettes. Okay.
Yeah,
No, but the original 7-inch floppies, it was like a film. It wasn't film, but it was like a plastic film like floppy, and like you'd put it in and like, bro, I'm talking about old. Okay.
yeah,
So like this was in the 80s, and my dad was like, one of the first people to like bring a computer home, because the accountants were like the first people to get the computers, because like it was much easier to like type numbers into a ledger on a computer than it was to like write that shit down in a
yeah. Also easier to keep track of it and all that.
right. So if it was done well, So anyway, so I've been using this technology to do small business accounting since I was, knee high to a tadpole, right? So here we are. I'd used OCR technology when it first came out. I was on the first ever QuickBooks. Here we are, it's 2021, and we can fully automate this process now. Like it can be fully automated. And especially with AI, it can be done very, very well. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I know how to do all that stuff. So I've been doing it for 20 plus years. Um, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that.
So, what is Zentavos in like simple terms?
The simplest way that I put it is Zentavos is going to be your chief financial officer to help you achieve your financial goals.
Okay.
And chief financial officer is a broad term, okay? But the way I view it is the agent that's going to carry out your bookkeeping, your accounting, your taxes, raising capital, managing cash flow, processing payments, like your chief financial officer. It's also telling you what to do next, how to achieve your goals, what your tax strategies need to be. Everything done for you in a mobile app that you have access to. So that's the long term. That's the culmination of it. To say you got a chief financial officer at the push of a button.
Okay. And so the people that would be using Zentavos in the beginning are mostly entrepreneurs, small businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah, our main target audience is small business owners,
Okay. And why small business owners?
because it's so hard to start a business and to get organized and to do that at a reasonable price, and to learn it well enough to know how to use that information to achieve your financial goals. It takes 5 years. It takes 5 years. And you may not make it. Most don't.
So somebody that is starting off a business, and I have several different friends that are starting off businesses right now, um, and they honestly don't have insight into, like you said, the back office things that need to be done, the accounting, the tax, all of the things that a chief financial officer would take care of. Are they going to be able to use the app to kind of facilitate those processes?
Yes. Not the MVP, not the initial product,
Okay,
but over the next few years as we develop each new piece, yes, they will be able to have all that taken care of.
interesting. And so, um, with your target audience being small businesses, in terms of like what you what you want the app to be, how do you see, AI being either a helper or a competitor in that nature?
Well, well, we're going to utilize AI throughout our entire system, right?
Okay.
And so it's going to be a huge part of our platform. Um, AI is going to help us scale, but it's also going to help us deliver actionable data to the user, quickly,
Okay.
right? And so think about when you build a startup, what you're looking to do is develop a minimum viable product. It's called an MVP. It's something that the market will accept and prove that you're solving a problem that is a need, right? And so then you get a customer base around that minimum viable product, and then you develop that out to that customer base and continue to build upon it, right? Okay, so our minimum viable product is going to have basically 4 apps in one. Okay,
Okay.
so it's going to be a cash flow dashboard, which will tell you if you're cash flowing. Like, are you making more money than you're spending, or are you spending more money than you're making, right? And it's going to tell you very clearly, this is your daily net, and it's either going to be positive or negative. It's negative, you're running out of money. And it'll tell you, hey, you're running out of money. This is how long it's going to be. So, as an example, in my profile right now, my daily net is negative $40.73.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm losing almost $41 a day. When am I going to run out of money? I obviously have a certain amount of money in my bank account. Well, I'm going to run out of money in 9 days. I have 9 days to fix this.
Okay.
Okay. And then what do I do about it? That's the next question. Okay. What do I need to do? Well, I need to increase my daily income by $50 or reduce my daily expenses by $50 to start building cash in my account. Okay. So it tells me, hey, your target's $50. So don't go to Starbucks tomorrow. That's $7. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just reduce your spending by $7 today. Right. Okay. Well, how do I increase my income? How do I do like we're trying to give your brain what it needs to make decisions right now. Right. Next is a file cabinet. So you can take pictures of your receipts. That's super important because most people don't keep their receipts. Unfortunately, I've had to do a couple of audits this year. All right. And the IRS requires receipts. Okay. So it's super important to keep track of those, but it's so hard. Right. Well, here you just take a picture of it and it saves it for you. Our AI in these two deals, we're going to build out the data that we give you, but we're still going to make it simple. There's a lot of apps that do this. Something that makes us different is we're not going to flood you with 1,000 data points.
Okay.
We're going to give you like 3 data points, like the ones that you need to make decisions right now. We're not going to overload you, but then you'll be able to drill down into those data points and learn more if you want to, if you're ready for that, when you're ready for that, right? On the file cabinet, we're going to get it to where you just take the picture and the AI is going to process it and put it in the right folder for you. Then later, we're actually going to attach that receipt to your transaction in a bank statement to your accounting ledger. And we're going to develop a process in which you'll be able to be audit ready, which
Okay.
I think is going to be really exciting. Then we've got
Absolutely.
a mileage tracker. So one of the number one deductions for a small business owner is mileage. But I mean, I got to be honest with you. Most of my clients don't have a mileage log, right? And then an AI CFO agent that you can ask questions like, how many times did I go to Starbucks last month? How do I start a business? What was my cash flow last week? Like whatever you need to know, it has access to your data. It can spit out that answer. And then if you're in one of our CFO memberships, if the AI isn't giving you what you need, you give us a call, shoot us a text message, and we'll get that answer to you quickly.
Interesting.
And so 4 apps in one, right? Cash flow dashboard, Dropbox, MyIQ, ChatGPT. If you buy all those apps, it's 30, 40, $50 a month.
Yeah. For each of them.
Well, depending on the levels that you're getting and so on and so forth. But
I see.
so if you have one business, you'd be a founder for $14.99 a month or $149.90 a year. We give you 2 months for free if you pay annually. Then instead of logging into your bank account every day, you log into Zentavos, and instead of just seeing your balance, you also see what your cash flow is. You can also keep track of your important documents. You can also ask ChatGPT. You know, our AI bot's called
Z.
Z ZI.
Okay.
Hey Z. It doesn't do audio just yet, but we're gonna get it to where you can, you just hit the microphone. Hey Z, what's this? Boom, 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 boom.
So why Z?
So, Zentavos,
Okay.
Z,
Okay.
AI, ZI.
Okay. Sort of like a Zentavos interface.
Yeah, an AI CFO bot.
Interesting. And so, how did you go about determining um, which features to enable within the app in the forefront? Uh, I'm assuming it's by whatever drove the most value, but how do you determine what drives, I guess, the most value then?
Well, so I see the ends from the beginning, like the whole system, right? Okay.
Hmm.
And so like the accounting, the tax piece, everything, I can like see all the bells and whistles. And initially we wanted to raise $10 million so we could build a more robust system that had the accounting and tax piece already included. So it was already kind of seamless from transactions to tax. Okay. Um, but it's difficult. So we weren't able to raise that level of capital. So um, I figured out like we got to build something smaller but valuable,
I
right?
see.
And so like what is valuable, and then how what tools are necessary now that we can build upon as a foundation that are going to be integral to the rest of the system. So each one of these four characteristics is extremely integral to the rest of the system. And so these are the like the foundational elements. And what it's designed to do is help you keep more of your money, right?
Okay.
So Zentavos literally means peace with your money. Zen, to be at peace. Centavos, pennies, money, change, right? So it means peace with your money. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring you peace, okay? Because I mean, if you're anything like me and you look at your bank account, it keeps going down every day, but you don't know like why or
Why?
how or what, or like you don't know what to do, and like you don't want to keep track of receipts, or I don't I don't want mileage law, like I don't, you know what I mean,
Yeah, there's certain things that are more tedious
like I'm just
that are going to be like lost when you're taking care of your business.
Yeah, and it's like all right here. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
Zentavos will
Like
take
I
care of that
use
for you.
Dropbox and I love Dropbox, right? But I use it on my computer. I'm not using it for receipts. I haven't figured that, like I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's not attached to like my accounting, right? And then if you get QuickBooks, like you got to get an accountant.
Yeah. So, how did you go about determining, the size of your team and who you needed in order to actually go and build out your vision for what Zentavos is supposed to be?
Well, I met my business partner Jacinia, probably 2020. I was doing her business tax return for her brother and her cleaning company,
Okay.
and she was serving the Hispanic community and basically, was starting out doing what I started doing, 20 years ago, right? And she was super passionate about it, and she had all these questions about how do I do this and how do I do that, and I was like, man, this is exciting. Like maybe I should, and at the time I was kind of like investing in small businesses and like trying to like kind of start up a little PE situation, private equity deal where I add some capital and some sweat equity to several businesses, like find like really good business owners to get behind and like kind of develop a few companies and prepare them to exit, and had a few projects going. But I didn't have anything that was like what I do. You know what I mean? And so Justinia just kind of sparked that. And so I was like, hey, I've been doing this a long time. I'd love to help you with your business. What are your thoughts? Are you cool with that? So it took us a while. We spent about a year just kind of getting to know each other and talking this through and whatever. And then I came on board full time. Not full time really. I was given the company about 8 hours of time a week and kind of training staff and things like that. But we at that time I was just helping her build her business. Zentavos the idea of that kind of came about at that time. And I came to work one day and I asked Roxana, I was like, hey, Roxana, she was our first hire, Roxana. She's doing amazing. She's actually giving birth to her second boy here in
That's awesome.
January. Shout out to,
Congratulations,
yeah,
Roxanne.
congratulations. Shout out to Roxana. So she helped me come up with a name. I was like, hey, Roxana, like I'm huge into branding. So I really enjoyed putting this brand together. I was like, what are pennies or, money in Spanish, I didn't want to go with peso. I couldn't really do a lot with that. So she was like, centavos. And I was like, okay, all right, that's a start. Okay. Now
Yeah.
what do we want to accomplish? I told you peace. So I'm like, what is so I look up, I Googled, what is peace? Zen. Zentavos was born. Right? Okay. So then it was just um from there about like developing the business plan. And so like I spent 6 to 9 months developing the business plan and the brand and um like writing the architecture for the initial thing. We hired a software company in town to do like a little Figma prototype. Um, it was a lot of fun. That was 2021.
Wow. And so, in buildings and Tavos, what are some of the biggest hurdles that you've had to overcome?
Well, I mean, the first thing is that I wanted to come out of the gate with a bigger product and um and faster.
Yeah.
Like I saw a need in the marketplace like right now.
Mm.
And like I also saw what everybody else is building and like I want to make this now, you know?
Yeah.
And so the only way to do that is to get the right investment behind you. And that's actually really hard, you know?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Absolutely.
So I went from trying to raise 10 million to we raised 300,000 to build our MVP. And we're publishing it today.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
1 year later, actually. So we started development December of 24.
Wow.
We had a soft launch for like beta testing and everything like that in March 31st. And then we've just been kind of finishing it out, doing a lot of testing, um, do what's called a refactoring. And today it's like pretty stable. It's not 100% there. We got a couple of things we want to fix on the update, but yeah, we're going to the store with the product ready for the market. We're very excited about it.
That's awesome. And so, in regards to, your target audience, what do you think is the best way to kind of get the news out there? As Zentavos is out.
Well, we've got several organizations that we work with that are gonna offer Zentavos to their contractors, and so Zentavos is a great tool for 1099 contractors because a lot of them drive a lot, and you can write off all that mileage. It's definitely like your kind of paycheck to paycheck situation when you're a contractor is pretty tough. So knowing where your cash flow is super important. Being able to take pictures of all your important documents and have them there and like it's a great tool for you as a 1099 contractor. So we're really excited to work with those partners and be able to get it into the hands of a lot of people at one time that can really benefit from it. Then Justini and I we do a lot of speaking engagements
Okay.
and work with different organizations around the country, and so we'll be kind of hitting the conference circuit, if you will. Then of course we've got this podcast. Justinia has Cup of Jess podcast, our social medias, and we'll be developing our marketing campaign and pushing it out as we increase sales.
That's awesome, man. So, in regards to just the next phase of Zentavos for you, what is your vision for, where Zentavos is going from here?
So, I mean, our goal is to come out of the gate swinging, put this in the hands of as many people as we can, get to 10 to 20,000 users. Add the next phase. The next phase, I want to add invoicing, so you can start invoicing your clients. Eventually, like we want you to be able to run your whole small business on it, right? In the future, we'll have like a personal profile that'll be geared more toward personal wealth management and things like that. It's just, we're just gonna build a chief financial officer tool that literally you can do everything that you need to do to um, achieve your financial goals, whether that's raising money, starting a business, whether that's investing or getting retirement. We're gonna have marketplaces and um, training and just all kinds of stuff, so that everything that you need to achieve your financial goals is right there in one place.
Okay. And have you seen, a lot of different competitors in this space? What are your thoughts on those?
So the I'd say the competition is pretty thick, but it's
Mm.
pretty it's also in different silos, if you will, in different categories. A lot of it is software as a service. Okay, so like QuickBooks as an example, they develop software for people to use. Okay, I'm developing a tool for people to use, but it's not data entry for them. It's not like there's not a lot of effort for them. They connect their accounts and we kind of do most of the stuff on the back end. They're going to make decisions and Zentavos will carry out their strategies for them, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like I'm not trying to turn small business owners into accountants or tax preparers.
Yeah,
Like our AI and our team will do all of that work for you, right? So we do it for you. That's one of our slogans, right? Um, and then so you've got these budgeting apps, these financial like data apps where you kind of connect your stuff. And there's several of these like CFO type AI agents where you connect your accounts and they tell you stuff and everything like that. But that's kind of where they're stopping, is really kind of like um, financial insights. Okay. We're taking that's one piece of a bigger puzzle. Like, we're going to provide banking and credit products. We're going to help you raise capital. Like, just like depending on what you're
yeah.
trying to do, we're going to be there to help you do it all.
I got you. So in other words, as opposed to having, these independent verticals of more niche products where one product might do this, another product might do that, you're kind of taking all those product features cross-functionally and putting it into one um, tool that can be used by small business owners across America.
Yeah, small business owners and individuals, and we're really focusing on their inputs, like what they're doing every day. I've been running small businesses and being a CFO for small businesses, like I said, for 20 plus years. So understanding their pain when it comes to insurance, when it comes to payroll, when it comes to cash flow management, and all those things, and like we're developing a tool that identifies those pain points and has a simple button resolution. Like, come and push our buttons. you
Yeah,
know, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Uh, just to kind of simplify it. Like, I don't, I want to build something that works for them, not makes them work more.
I hear you. So, have you thought of, putting in advertising in Zentavos at all? Is that something that's potentially scoped out for the
So
future?
there's not going to be like advertising. Like, you're not going to get hit with ads. We are going to develop marketplaces in which you're going to have the ability to advertise yourself to the community,
Oh,
but
wow.
also there will probably be ads in there, kind of like you see in like the Facebook roll or something like that.
Yeah.
Like there may be stuff like that, but it'll be super important that you're like in our network and things like that. Like, we're not going to sell your data to anybody. Okay. There will be a banking marketplace as an example. Okay. And so um, we want you to be able to have access to competitive lending. Okay. And so if you opt in and you're going to choose, hey, I opt into this banking lending marketplace, then you're going to get offers based on your profile, right? Okay, and it's gonna be fully underwritten. So when you get an offer, like, the money's ready, like it's already a yes. It's not this whole application process, and you got to go back and forth. Like, we're gonna provide the bank everything that it needs to underwrite and give you an offer. And when you get an offer, you accept the terms. You have the money right now. I call
Well,
it instant lending.
oh, that's awesome. So, what is underwriting exactly?
Underwriting is when the bank looks at your financial data and determines whether or not you're credit worthy and whether or not they want to lend you money.
Okay.
Right now, the way it works is you have to go to the bank and say, "Hey, I want to borrow money." So in inside Zentavos, and this is phase three, phase four, inside Zentavos, you're going to be able to say, "Hey, I want to borrow money," and click the box, and then your underwriting profile, the things that the bank needs, which is a personal financial statement, a debt schedule, last 2 years of tax returns, 6 months of bank statements, an application, your driver's license, your social security card, like the whole file. Okay. you'll have all that in your profile, and we will share that with the bank when you hit yes. And then you'll be able to go to the marketplace, and you'll have bank A wants to give you a $25,000 line of credit. Bank B wants to consolidate your debt. Bank C has a mortgage option for you, like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, depending on what you've opted into.
And so, in regards to where people can go and actually download Zentavos, is it available for Android and
It's
iPhone?
available in both stores, Android and Google. Android is Google Play, the Google
Yeah.
Play Store and the iOS App Store, right?
Okay.
You can go to Zentavos.com. There's links on there to the stores that you can download it. We have subscriptions that range anywhere from, there's a free kind of try it out situation, and then all the way from $9.99 a month up to $50 a month for a tycoon if you've got multiple businesses and a whole lot of accounts.
Awesome. So you heard it here first, folks. Go ahead and download Zentavos,
Download Zentavos.
and we'll see you next time. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification button.
Thanks so
Thanks.
much.
See ya.